Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online. I will be going through some of the Helm's Deep content on my Rune Keeper on Anor, so I'll be doing some West Rohan questing, but the first thing we're going to be doing today is the Deeping Wall Epic Battle Raid. At least that is what is planned. I'm not sure if we'll have enough people for that in the kin. That one's going to be a little bit tough because we don't always have a bunch of signups, and that one is raid size. And it's the only raid size epic battle, but I just realized I forgot my water, embarrassingly, but I did want to say before I go get that, say hello to Ardeth, the lore seeker. He said he'll actually be able to catch a live stream this time, which is good. I think I started even a couple minutes early here, but I am doing well, and it looks like the chat is working. That's actually one thing I was a little bit concerned about, because I had an issue with that last stream where my chat wasn't working for like the first hour. I realized suddenly that there hasn't been anything. I should just double check it, and then I found out I missed at least a few messages, probably even more than it showed, but it looks like the audio is working. I just switched my audio device to my speakers, so my speakers are finally working again, or at least my little tiny speaker here. And yeah, I think everything is actually set up. As far as, again, what I am doing today, more specifically with the West Rohan questing, I'm going to be doing Eastfold on my Rune Keeper. Last time I said I was doing Eastfold, but did hardly any, mainly did a little bit of stuff in Aldberg, just talking to people, that kind of thing. So one thing is West Rohan has been a bit boring with the questing to me. We also did some warbands last time, I forgot about that. I ventured into Stoke and did a little bit of the book quest, but West Rohan has been a bit boring lately to me quest-wise, so one thing I'm hoping, and at least having a positive outlook for the stream, is that I will enjoy Eastfold once I actually get into it. It looks like I'm starting off with a fresh quest set, so kind of getting the fresh start in Eastfold and hoping I will enjoy it. As far as where I am, all my quests are actually from Aldberg, but I was just checking some of the quest lines here and it looked like you needed to go to Beaconworth for something, and it doesn't look like I actually have a quest to pick up here, so I'm not entirely sure on that. So yeah, that's we do run the epic battle in about 10 minutes in Hey Ardeth. So I will be doing a few quests until then. I can also do these warbands. I actually did last time as well, the warbands in the zone. I think I need to turn my blurred kin chat on. People are just saying hello, but it's mainly in case somebody says something personal that they don't want like broadcast to all of YouTube. And I thought I just heard me echo. Maybe it's just the in-game audio. Oh, I feel like I'm getting off to a slow start. Sometimes it's just that way with the streams on YouTube, unfortunately. I don't quite have everything set up when I think I do, or sometimes YouTube itself will have issues, but looks like everything's going smoothly, and I think I'm a little bit extra paranoid with that because what did happen last time with the chat just totally not working. For some reason I'm in the healing warband, what are those called, disciplines. I also have a full stomach because I just got done eating dinner. That's not the best thing for me to do, like right before a stream, eating really full dinner, but that is what I did. Hey Oscar, it looks like chat is working good again. I said I might be a little bit paranoid, but it looks like that's working good, so that's okay. And also hello Jimmy Brickley. He said you've been watching my videos and live streams and it's encouraged you to play LotRO again. You played some time ago, then you had to take a break due to enlisting in the army. You just bought a brand new laptop and you can't wait to start again. And then you also said keep up the great streams. Thanks for that. I definitely do plan to keep them up. It's good to know people like the streams because sometimes I do wonder how enjoyable they are, because there are people that will hop in the streams and some consistent people that come in and chat and stuff, but my channel originally was built around videos. I didn't really stream, and I did some let's play type videos which were a lot shorter, But I like doing the streams and just allows more interactions. I'm just not sure after the streams are done if people watch them as like basically as videos, like a let's play style series of videos. I guess my streams are kind of like, I bounce around a lot on the type of content I do though. As far as what I am doing, I actually have no idea. I have a quest here, I guess, to defeat boars. The giant boar, okay, that's just to defeat boars. But the main reason I was headed this way was because there's actually a warband here that I want to defeat, and there should be some boars with that one too. There are a lot of boars here. It doesn't actually say it in the quest. It has like one ring for that, but it doesn't say there are boars here, which is a bit odd. Oh, and Jimmy, I forgot to comment on this, but I hope you do enjoy LotRO when you return. There are a lot of different things if you have been off of it for a while, but I of course think it's a fun game, and there have been a lot of great changes and a lot of fun new content they've added. So this warband is interesting, and I did get the quest. I think it's technically considered a raid warband, but I probably should have started on my mount just to be extra safe. I think I can handle it on foot here, but let's see. I have so many different areas of quests, and I need to pay attention a little bit to what I'm doing. So the giant boar, oh, that did a ton of damage to me. I forgot I think the nemesis boar or whatever he is. I better get all these UI panels off. I'm about to get wiped out here. Use sustaining bolt, get my morale up. But I think this one's considered a raid. I guess I can double check that to confirm it. I'm going to go ahead and use Epic for the Ages just to be extra safe, but from here I should be able to get it. I kind of jumped into this fight a little bit too hastily. Sustaining bolt should be free, and I'll use concession and rebuttal and get that going. So one thing I actually kind of would want to do is avoid using Rid of Lightning here, but there's so much going on, and with being solo and kiting and not looking to necessarily maximize damage, I can use that, but I do want to focus Epic Conclusion over that at least. Probably go ahead and use it here. That just gets rid of my concession and rebuttal charges is the main worry of that. And I think when the boar does this and he stops, he's going to charge and then do his big hit to me. Looks like he hasn't even hit me yet, though. If he did a hit, it was tiny. But just gotta do some more damage. I'm actually running a little bit low on power, so I think I'll stun him and use my power restore. And I'll go at, ooh, he stunned me. That's actually, I got a bad dot. Actually, I might be able to revive and hit him, I'm not sure. Looks like he'll probably reset. Invalid target. Alright, so he's going to reset and all the little boars are going to reset. That was tough, I got stunned. And I probably could have used my stun removal, but he did. I thought he did a lot of damage to me in like one hit, but maybe not. Well, I guess 12,000 or so between those two, 13,000, and then enough to get up to 20,000. So that was a little bit unfortunate with that. And Arthas said, in the words of Treebeard, don't be too hasty. Yeah, that's something in LotRO. Sometimes I'm just going on and end up going through things too fast. It's one reason on Luiden, the totally different character, that I like playing the yellow line with him, because I can just keep going on, pulling mobs and keep on pulling mobs basically with a Ranger Sounding Challenge, and it is kind of playing in a hasty type playstyle, I guess. And it's really the same with the yellow line Rune Keeper versus red line, even though I like playing red line and I just like the fire aspect of it. I get to be more hasty in a way playing the yellow line. Where is my stun removal? There it is. That's actually something, just because it's so infrequently used, I don't always know where it is on my characters. It's often the only button that's actually usable when that is up. I should probably... Actually, I'm going to use this one. Every time he does that in soft, it worries me, even though I get to like freely move around away from him. It just worries me that he's about to charge and do something, because I think boars in general in games, and in particularly World of Warcraft, they did that. Alright, so should be good to use Concession and Rebuttal when I get up to the attunement. So I'll go ahead and use that, get Epic Conclusion, stun him. No, he's going to stun me. But stun him, then I should be good to go again. Oh, it looks like I did not get my stun, so I'll just use a power potion. This is a kind of long fight. He does have 420,000 morale, but as long as I can keep kiting and he doesn't do the near one-shot and put that... He did some sort of bleed damage over time on me earlier. Alright, so I want to double check and confirm that I was right, that that is a raid warband. It's kind of odd because there's a fellowship one, and I think even a small fellowship one, that gives me more trouble, where they're actually on their horses around this area in Kingstead. I guess that would be considered around Entwade, and Edoras and Middlestead, around that area. Alright, so it looks like we are probably going to be switching somewhat soon to doing the epic battle. As far as quests go, I still need to move northwest, so can continue going this way, making my way, I guess, closer to Alberg. There's another warband I wouldn't mind heading here, Felljaw. I don't remember that one, but I thought there was a regular fellowship sized one that was also fairly easy to solo just because it was on foot. Oops, if I can not auto run into a tree. But I think I will have to get up for a minute and get my water, because I need to drink that or I will get sticky mouth and not be able to talk, basically. So just gonna get to a safe place and I will be right back in 1 second. Alright, I am back and I'm going to join my Ken's Discord. Yep, so, yeah, okay, I joined that, but I had push to talk off, that's why I like suddenly stopped talking. And last time, I accidentally had push to talk on. I mean, push to talk off, so it was like open mic. And I was like talking as normal on the stream, and it's probably a little bit bothersome to them. I was going on for like a minute probably before I realized it. But I should probably put my headphones on so I can hear them first of all. And I'll have to change one more setting in that. Okay, I think it's all good actually. So as far as while waiting for us to actually start that big battle, I'll go ahead and get this warband, I think Felljaw. Pretty sure it's a bear. If I remember correctly, there are a bunch of bears around here. There's a bear. Felljaw. I think he's an elite, so he should go a lot quicker. Yeah, Oscrow Sticky Mouth is not pleasant. It's probably more annoying for you all. I just feel like my mouth clicks a lot when that happens. And not only clicks a lot, but a lot of my, I don't even know what they're called, syllables blend together. Well, my volume's really low. I need to turn it way up so I can hear them. I think my audio is also only playing out of one of my headphone speaker things, on the right one only. So it looks like we will be trying the Deeping Wall raid, even though we might not have a full 12-man group. So it might just be a little bit difficult. I think that one also requires a lot of high ranked members. So you don't notice it, Ozcrow? That is good, because I always at least worry about it. Mainly the mouth clicking type noise. I don't really know how to explain it without it actually happening, I guess. I don't know why this is glowing, but I decided to head there, and it's telling me I need to, follow the trail of the rumored boar. Well, I kind of came from that way. I think it's intended that you start going outside Aldberg, then head towards the boars this way. So that's kind of what's going on with that quest. But so far today's questing has been more fun, but that's because I've been out killing boars and then kind of did the 2 warbands, which weren't technically quests I got from town, but they added to the experience. So I'm just going to continue, keep opening the map and follow this path. Oh, this is a silhouette of what appears to be an enormous boar. It was a totem. And that is ready for turn in. That is the once and future king. I'm not sure what that quest is supposed to be about, like a boar king. Oh, that reminds me. If anybody wants to talk about the upcoming update, update 28, they have boar mounts in that, it sounds like. I'm not entirely sure what they're supposed to be like, if it's going to be like war steeds. I've heard rumors that it could be like that. I'm not familiar, like, Lord of the Rings lore-wise, if in that region that they're headed to. Well, just the general Moria, Misty Mountains, Irid Mithrin, the mountainy areas there, and Wells of Lengthlund, perhaps Elderslade and towards Gundabad, if they just used, like, actual war or boar mounts there. I don't know if a certain race used them or just all types of people, but I think that'll be pretty crazy, and I'm not sure, again, if it's going to be something that like every character will need to get for the zone, or if it's just something... were you... Somebody might have asked me something and I'm just talking and can't really hear. Did you ask me something? Or is that somebody else? Oh. Okay, they weren't talking to me. Thought I would make sure just because I have a tendency. This is interesting. I have to find people. 2 quests are talk to Arcel. I think those are turn-ins. Quick the crops. Oh, I didn't see the comments. Quick, the crops. I was like, I'm not sure what the issue is, but I guess they want me to get a few of these ready crops before the orcs destroy them. This is actually the kind of questing that I like. I went out to an area and got more quests right here. It's something that's very common in Minas Morgul. So the dwarves use them in war. That's good to know. And I guess that makes sense, especially going towards Gundabad and having War of the Three Peaks is like a war involving the dwarves. So I think that will be interesting how it is. It could just be like a regular mount, like your regular horse steed, a 78% or 68% or whatever thing. Basically kind of like their elks you can use, and goats even. So Ardeth, the Lore Seeker, just by your name I'm guessing you are familiar with the Lord of the Rings lore, especially compared to me, but all the information is good. I'm always happy to see people basically educate me a little bit about the lore behind the game I'm playing here, but it sounds like we might try to pug the rest of the spots, and that would help. That would definitely help with us. And it'll just help us go along in the epic battle. So that's just to let you all know what's going on here. But Ardeth, you specifically mentioned that boar mounts aren't mentioned in the Lord of the Rings or Hobbit books, from what you remember. and also not in the Silmarillion. But they were in Peter Jackson. I don't remember if they were used like in the Lord of the Rings movies, one of those, the trilogy, or The Hobbit. What was trilogy movie-wise? I would guess the Lord of the Rings, if any of them, and I need to rewatch that. I've talked about it a few times since I've come back, that I've realized it's been a very long time since I've actually watched the Lord of the Rings movies. And I might see, mainly because I don't have the movies, I have to see either about getting them or maybe one of my friends have them on like digital where I could sign into their account and watch them. That'd be a nice thing. But yeah, that's one thing I would actually, it's kind of something I'm loosely planning to do a video on, just because I'm not all extremely familiar with the Lord of the Rings lore, that I would connect what I know from LotRO to the movies, kind of doing it backwards from what most people do. So most people probably know the Lord of the Rings, and there are a lot of people that are big fans of Lord of the Rings that play LotRO kind of just because of that, or at least started playing LotRO just because of that. I'm very different than that, so I think going the opposite and connecting from what I watch in the movies to what I already know in LotRO, I think that would just be an interesting perspective. And Ardeth, you said the books are so much better if you're not a reader, which I'm not too much of a reader, which this is kind of a funny thing because the work I guess I do as a student is basically all reading right now. And perhaps also because of that, I wouldn't be too interested in spending a lot of time to read something, even if it is like enjoyable. Guess I usually don't filter these low-level ones. Looks like we got all filled up pretty quickly. I will probably... Yep. Wow. Okay, so somebody in the Kins Discord was having issues with their audio and getting their mic to work, but then when they worked, it was like very loud, so had to get that setting figured out. I don't know why I went ahead and switched to the blue line, but I will be healing in this epic battle, and it's super weird because I just like heal banners and items. I will heal some people and some of the soldiers, but just make sure I have raid checked on that. I need to make a new, it looks like I actually already made a tab, but I need to make one for Kin Raid and Fellow, so I actually know what's going on with everything and not just have to change my tabs all the time. Make sure this has... Okay, so there we go, I'm all set up. I did a bunch of running. I don't know where I ran to because I was on auto run. It looks like I need to run right back. But Ardeth, you also said the lore is very deep. You've studied the lore for years as well as run a Tolkien book group in your hometown. Yeah, I know a lot of people like it. Again, I'm just not too much of a reader as far as that part goes. I don't know what I need right here. If I need to kill a boar, I'm trying to target something. What is the actual quest? Or is there no quest here? I can't even see on the map anymore. The one quest, okay, there it is. It's going to be something around here, unless it is to actually kill a boar. Oh, collect slabs of boar meat. Yes, I've actually read the quest, finishing the task, collect slabs of boar meat. I would know what's going on. But as far as the lore goes, I think it is interesting from what I do know about it, and just like a generally interesting thing. And you did say I could watch YouTube lore videos. There have been people that have recommended that, and I think even Men of the West, that was a recommended channel for me to watch. But I'm also not the biggest watcher of videos. Maybe if I don't have much to watch, I would. And it's something I just got to actually remember to seek out at some point. But yeah, definitely thank you for the recommendation. Perhaps I could actually write it down and remember. But yeah, it's kind of odd because I do like make videos on YouTube and stream and all that, but I'm just not that much of a watcher. Even some people that I play with have talked about that they don't like really watch videos or watch people play LotRO and they play it. And I'm kind of similar, but different, that I actually do make videos. Looks like I have 2 more quests to do before I head back for turn-ins. I do want to do those, but I'll go ahead and turn this one in here. Left 4 Dead is actually right near Aldberg, so I'll probably do this other one first, missing delivery. Well, we're kind of getting slow with getting this started, but that's okay. I mentioned that the questing in West Rohan has been a little bit boring to me, but this I actually do like a little bit more than I'm doing right now. There were some good parts. There was one particular good part from, I don't know if I can find it on the map, Dunharrow. Sounds like we're about to start this up. Oops, there we go. Hey Tempers Gaming, you said you are glad you could catch another stream, so I'm glad you could catch another one as well. Thanks for stopping by. And you are asking if I have any suggestions on a race and class choice best to farm early game LotRO points with the intent to delete and restart to farm. Okay, so I'll get to that in a second, but just Ardeth to comment on your last comment. You said if I don't read or watch videos, you got nothing for me. That's okay, I still appreciate the recommendations. It's just, I would actually kind of say, one of the reasons I don't seek out too much of the Lord of the Rings lore is because I don't really read too much with that, or at least like read books like that, and also don't really watch videos, so that's just kind of the way it is. But with all that, I'm still like interested in the lore a little bit at least, so I'm not too sure what I need to be doing now because I don't think I have too much to do. I don't think I need to be engineer. I guess I have to wait for this to change, but I'll switch to what I think is my officer spec that will be more useful here. I don't think perhaps actually Vanguard would be okay in this one. I'm not sure if I'd be high enough. I'd have rank 2. I think that's more useful for something like Captain that deals damage and heals. I'll mainly be healing here. I guess we have like 5 people from the Pug, about 7 people in our kinship running this. That's kind of interesting because we usually as a kinship don't Pug content too frequently. And I don't know what side I should be working on. Just working on the rock, loading those, I guess. Don't want to release. Oh, but Tempers Gaming, to get back to your comment. So for a race, I don't think it matters too much. I would say whatever you can go through the intro fastest would be good. I think a lot of people use humans and elves. I'm not sure why not hobbits. As far as I know, they actually have the same intro as the humans, as the race of man, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't take that as a definite thing. But class, I think, is going to be the more important choice, and I would say that Hunter is definitely a good option. Their low level damage is pretty good. Minstrel used to be, I don't think they are anymore. It used to be Minstrel was actually best because they had the highest damage at like very low levels. Okay, I don't see any enemies coming here, so I will move westwards. So yeah, right now I'm thinking Hunter is what people usually do, and it's just a good fast class for that. Otherwise, typically melee classes wouldn't be as good. They're just slightly slower because they are melee, but choosing anything physical would be good. A lot of the tactical classes at low levels are relatively weak. Probably shouldn't mess with this catapult, just let whoever work on that. Oh yeah, I need to go to my officer. Oh, here are some enemies. Might be of some use now that I found some enemies, and if there are enemies, that means there are things to heal. So probably don't need the soldiers healed right now. So I can just heal the random NPCs and make sure all the banners are well healed up. So I know I've been a bit scattered about the recommendations for classes, Tempers Gaming, but anything physical is good again, and also tactical. Anything physical is going to be better than anything tactical, at least at the very low levels. Otherwise, I would say Rune Keeper is an okay choice, but because of that, I think you would probably be better off with Hunter. Had to clear my throat, but you said you seem to hear different opinions on the champion class, being that it's rougher in-game / late game group content. Some have said it's not true. So the champion used to not be that great. They used to be pretty low damage and kind of even squishy, but recently, I think it was a pretty recent update even, they were updated so that they aren't that way anymore. They're actually very good damage-wise, and a lot of their attack speeds were increased. That was one of the big things with Champion to me. It just felt so slow to play. But now it feels a lot faster, and along with that they got a damage buff. As far as in-game rating goes, I think they are taken for that. It used to be for a while that AoE was actually viable for even single target fights, just because of the debuff that the skill Ren, the AoE skill, would provide to armor, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think most run single target damage for like boss fights and things like that, and then AoE, the yellow line. We must have another Rune Keeper healing here. I'm not used to that. I'm guessing. Yeah, it's one of the pug ones. I guess they know the strategy. I didn't know this was a thing. They could just run around healing the banners, and that's the way you do this epic battle. You can also heal the healing stores and things like that. Like, we can't have the healing supplies destroyed for this little side mission thing. But I can get them heal over times and just top them off to be safe. And also AoE bubbling all these soldiers is good, it'll heal them up. Since all my AoE heals don't actually affect the soldiers, I have to individually target them. Which one? Oh, he's hiding. Made it hard to target. So they were saying there's a wounded soldier. I was like, I don't see one. But it was actually called a wounded soldier who was hiding in the barricade, and I could not see him. And it was hard to target even. Oh yeah, I hope that helped with the champion talk, by the way. And then you said, people say Captain is currently the better tank over Guardian. Can you explain why that is? So you're new to LotRO and just trying to learn as much as you can. So yeah, I just think generally over time, Captains have become stronger and Guardians relatively weaker. What did we get there? We got gold on that. So yes, it is true that Captains are the preferred tanks over Guardians. One reason is that Captains have a ton of morale. They just have a lot more than Guardians as far as I know. And then additionally, Guardians had some problems, I think, with their aggro and taunts. But recently in update 27.2, as far as I know, that was fixed. And I think just in general, they're more susceptible to damage. And on top of that, trying to think on top of, okay, so I'm listening about the epic battle. It doesn't sound like I have to do anything, but back to what I was talking about, on top of the champions just being generally better with surviving, they have good cooldown. So they have a skill that makes them where they aren't defeated for 7 seconds, so that's pretty crazy. And that's like a strong cooldown, good emergency buttons. The Guardians do have relatively good cooldowns, but compared to the Captain, it's just not as much. Otherwise, I think that is about as far as I can comment with that. Oh, and on top of that, on top of all that, I keep saying on top of that, but in addition to all that, the Captain does have still a little bit of support with them. And hello, Pablo Medel. You said, on which seat do you sit? I am not sure. Unfortunately, I don't see any seats here in this epic battle. Everybody is standing and fighting the orcs, but yeah, with the Captain, they do have some support, so they give like fellowship buffs and things like that. Sounds like we need to move to the center wall here. So yeah, I hope that helps with the Captain a little bit. I'm not, just because I haven't actually played at 130 and don't have my Captain up, specifically my Captain A and my Guardian up to 130, I can't comment on too much more, but I think those are at least the main reasons as far as I know. And another thing, I keep thinking of things, but one thing with the yellow line Captain is they do have it in combat res, and if they get the traits for it in the blue line, it can immediately res to allies. So that's just another nice thing to have. It goes along with it being a support class and being a valuable defensive tank. Just another thing that makes them valuable that a Guardian cannot provide. And even compared to the other tanks, it's kind of similar. Beorning, they do have some good passive mitigations, and they also have a lot of morale. I'm not sure if they have as much compared to Captain specifically, but I do know they can get up there, at least compared to Guardian. But Beornings don't have too much as far as emergency survival cooldowns. They are a little bit good with aggro and AoE aggro. Wardens and Champions would be the roughest spot as far as tanks go. Wardens, their tanking is really based on outdated mechanics with avoiding damage rather than mitigating damage. And also Wardens are extra susceptible to stuns and heavy crit damage. Champions, as far as I know, they were actually recently updated with their tanking to be a little bit better. But I still don't think they are like the most viable. I'm pretty sure you can run easy content like 3-mans and even 6-mans if you have a well outfitted champion tank, and probably the same with a Warden. but it's just not going to be as good as the other classes. Okay, so this is at the base of the tower. I'm not sure I am familiar with this specific encounter. This one goes down in the middle. We don't run this epic battle much just because it is a raid, and it's the only raid epic battle that we have, unfortunately. I think the large group size epic battles are more interesting compared to the small ones. The solo, duo, and even 3-man ones are just a lot more boring to me. But I think what I need to do is do not allow 10 powder kegs to be detonated, okay? So this is really just defeating enemies, it sounds like, and disarming the powder kegs. So I think I will switch to DPS spec for this, help with that. Somebody activated the commander when there are no enemies here, so that's not too much help. Oh yeah, I'm also an officer, but not much I can do here. I'll go ahead and put a banner down for whatever that is, vanguards. Just help with that. For some reason, I'm having trouble clicking people again. You have to like press in. It's really weird. In epic battles that just like happens and I have to press in and then I can click their names, and that's how I click things. And Tempers Gaming, you said everything answered great. That is good to know. I just feel like sometimes with the gameplay, I get a little bit distracted and don't know if it actually makes sense with what I'm talking about sometimes. Especially if I am doing group content with my kin, I have to like focus what's actually going on in game sometimes, even though I like talking about things and like talking with the chat and answering questions is pretty fun. I do have to focus on the gameplay sometimes and get distracted by it. So the sappers are the main ones we need to kill. Actually, if I could get my target priority to the sappers. Looks like we disarmed that. Here is a captain. I can actually get these guys. Make sure they're good up on the health. So probably wait for the damage boost on these guys when sappers actually come. Just gotta hope nobody else messes with them. Oh, we have a third Rune Keeper. I just realized that. That is somebody in our kinship gun log there. I don't know if they were also helping healing at the top of the tower, or I guess on the actual wall. First sapper down went real quick. So, okay, I've got to find the captain. I'll give them increased damage now. That is a lot of sappers. So we'll need to disarm, and what's also weird is you can disarm and deal damage at the same time, like use all your spells and abilities. I'm not sure if it was an intentional thing, but it has always worked that way. Some brawlers. There are some sappers. Yeah. But yeah, that's a nice thing about having the full raid. So I think we got platinum on that. So for me, unfortunately, it's not as exciting because I'm not level 95 and not getting like all this cool gear level 95 version. Like I got a gold earring here, which would be essentially the best in slot piece of gear I could get at level 95. I think this particular set wouldn't actually be the best, but just like as far as how strong this jewelry is, It'd be really nice if I was level 95 and getting level 95 jewelry in this again. All this is good, but in general, I guess with Helm's Deep content, level 95 content, the main thing jewelry and gear in general would help with is a little bit with epic battles, but not really too much. Only if we actually go back and run some of the old scaling content would be like really helpful, which we probably eventually will do. Like probably we'll eventually do some of the scaling content at level 95, like old Asta and Hoth. For some reason that's the only raid name that's coming to mind. Heligrod. We might do that, and just things like that that gear would be helpful for, but otherwise just with this expansion, gearing's not quite as exciting because a lot of the stuff in epic battles actually has to do with your promotion points and epic battle ranks, which it looks like I have some of those to spend now that I've actually completed some new side mission objective thingies, whatever they're called. I really should find out what they're technically called because I keep calling them different things. Battle history, flames at the gate. I don't think this specifically mentions what it is, just that it is a thing. So as far as where enemies are coming, that's what I was trying to check out. It looks like everybody's in the east, so I'll go there. We've actually had 3 banners burned and 6 soldiers defeated and a commander defeated. Don't know when all that happened. It looks like actually, yeah, probably over here. We're having a rough time with these banners, but I'll get some heals over time and get my AoE bubbles going on. Oh, and we have a sapper. This one's about to go down. Yeah, we're having a bit of trouble with the banners here. Let's do archer, armor, arrow volley. There we go. Get them healed up. See if this commander can take anything. Looks like we're having a lot of troubles with these NPCs and the banners and just generally with this side. So giving them increased damage will in a way help them survive better. Looks like another Rune Keeper got an AoE heal on those. Focus really should be the banner. It looks like we have another side mission already. This really is more exciting. Doing just the raid epic battles, I think it's way more exciting than the solo and duo ones, first of all, but even more exciting than Helm's Tyke, and that's why I really wish more of the epic battles would actually scale to raid size. Just to me it's a lot more interesting and more fun to participate. And specifically this one, I don't even know that it's just because there are a bunch of people here. So we need to defeat the Uruk-hai Overseers. I think I will stay heal spec'd. Ooh, this banner's probably... Okay, he's not doing too much damage to it. I know the sappers in general, I think, do the most damage. This one's probably... Okay, it's doing okay. I saw the sappers attacking it, but... Oh, I should go... I'm gonna put a do not fall on the backup tank, I guess. I'm guessing Cademan was... Oh. This looks like it's the rough part. It looks like we had another banner burned, unfortunately. Trying to help with the side mission here. Oh, I can't click that one, so we had 2 more banners burned. Wow. But I think our focus right now is the side mission. Alright, I think I missed the point I needed to turn, running around here, not making any progress, but I'll come back and... Oh, they're down here? Oh. I really have no idea where they went, unfortunately. I'm a little bit lost here. I thought it was this tower. Maybe they did go to the other tower and it was in that middle room up there. I think it was the other tower, that's why I missed it, unfortunately. Here's Anhar. Hey Quainfell, and you said you've never been able to complete this epic battle. Yeah, this one's pretty tough. I think not only because it's raid difficulty, but there's just a lot of things going on. Even in the solo and duo difficulty, it's pretty tough. You have to... There are just a lot of things you have to do and keep up with. My role is to mainly heal the banners, and 5 banners have burned, so on that front I haven't probably done as good as I can. I also have to heal the soldiers and keep all those things up. And of course help with the side missions when they go on. But there are just so many things going on with this epic battle that it is pretty tough. I think especially if you might have had Do Not Fall on you. Oh. Oh, that champion's taking a ton of damage, but there are also so many things here to heal. I have to keep on checking that banner. It looks like my power is going out. I should probably remove my poison, except the poison killed me. Just wasted a power potion because of that. We need to get one more Overseer defeated. Hopefully we can get at least silver or bronze. I think the first time we did this without a full 12-man raid, we were actually able to do all 3 pretty quickly and able to do it pretty quickly, and I think got gold. This time it looks like we probably got silver, which is okay. This is of course pretty crazy, and we have to keep up with all the other things, the soldiers, commander, banners. Air of all the armor. I don't know why, but I feel like that champion might need the Do Not Fall. It's on cooldown right now. It'll have like, I don't know, be lighter color when it's off available. They were wondering how to use their healing ability, but I think that commander or the soldier needs some heals. Should get my bubble here, got a lot of people with it, for at least how many are up. Normally I'd like to get a lot bigger group, but there just aren't many people. This person is not reviving. I don't know if they were AFK. I think that was one of the other Rune Keepers. I thought they were helping with that. Not sure if they're waiting for a res. That's what I was just wondering. AFK or, yeah, waiting for a res. Got the res just in case, but oh, I was like, I have a feeling they were AFK, but I guess not. I guess they were waiting for a res, which is okay, I guess, but you can very easily retreat and get right back in this. Hey Dropes, or Dropez, you asked how do you make the game look so good? You have a good PC and put all the graphics too high and it still looks pretty bad on graphics, so I'm not sure if I have any particular settings that make it look so good. One thing if I can take a minute to look here and make sure I'm still healing everybody, is one of the biggest things I think is actually textures, getting the details and everything on that very high. I also have I think there's like a high resolution texture thing it asks if you want to use. You might already be using that, but that is just one thing. In general, I actually run on probably medium settings with a few things turned up and a few things turned down, mainly because I have, just like with streaming in OBS, I have to turn some things down, and there are particular things I like to turn up, like model detail, material detail, anything with that. With textures, I think those are good to turn up. Let's see, this set looks healed pretty well. Guess we can give them their heal button. There's not much to go with this commander. It looks like it's just him and he has no soldiers left. Another thing is I am running DirectX 11. I'm not sure how much that alone affects it, but I think LotRO sometimes will default to DirectX 9 and not even show DX10 or DX11. It's a little bit odd, but sometimes it even has done that to me in the past. It's really weird. And then one more thing that doesn't actually affect the graphics, but I do recommend running the 64-bit client if you aren't already. You have to go into the launcher and check a whole option for that though. It's not like a default thing, at least as far as I know it's not default yet. Otherwise I'm not too sure. One thing is I am on 1440p. That's just as far as like the resolution of the game goes. So I hope that helps a little bit, looking at my settings there. If you can try and change anything to perhaps make your LotRO look better. Also, I do play with high ambient light. I don't know if that's something that you consider that makes it like look so good, having the ambient light on high. That just makes it easier for me to see. This actually, in a way, looks better to me. It makes the environment darker and almost more natural, but having the ambient light, it just makes it so much easier to see. So that is one possibility. I should probably make a whole like proper video on my graphics settings and all that, but one thing just to note is even though my CPU is good, which is actually an important part of, for LotRO performance, the CPU is typically kind of a bottleneck as far as LotRO performance goes. My graphics card is actually a few years old now. I am running a GTX 970. But yeah, I could probably do a proper video on my graphics settings at some point. And you said you're going to check those settings out and you love my videos. Glad you love them, and thanks for the compliment on them. I'm not sure what we're going to run next, but I'm definitely fine questing for a while. Usually we will run two things as a kin. I don't know if we'll go straight to another epic battle or even potentially rerun this one right away. I didn't realize I had another trait point. I could have had my AoE runestone this whole time, even in the healing spec. So I'm not sure for the trait points. I have 3 trait points in the heal line, it looks like here, that I need to spend. Probably raw will, because I'm not sure there's much I could get in fire right now. And mending verse would be okay for the heal, but it's a little bit slow and shouldn't be relying on that, but that could be okay for a point compared to just getting will. So I'll go ahead and get that. And I actually had the slot for it because I used to have it in one of my old versions of my yellow line spec, I guess, but I'll probably run something, but I missed specifically what it was. Oh, yeah, I'll join that if there's room. Sounds like we will be running Helmstike next. Don't think. Oh yeah, so I should probably look at all this jewelry. I was just kind of writing it off, but some of these pieces will be upgrades, so this one's going to be an upgrade, and I think I actually need finesse anyway, so that's nice. This teal one, don't need that. I got a teal bracer that's going to be more useful than my purple one. So yeah, I actually have 2 gold jewelry pieces, but again, it's kind of frustrating in a way that they're only level 85, when I'd really have rather kind of save those for 95. Just unfortunate because this character I'm going pretty slowly through West Rohan and just slowly leveling him in general. So one thing before we start Helm's Dyke, I think we're going to take a few minute break, but I'm going to go ahead and switch to this and get my engineer set up with the new points I have. So trap trigger count I think is going to be a good thing, and then 3 and 2, and that's pretty much how it goes. As far as I know, that will unlock the next row for me. Oh, saying unlock the next row brings back memories, so I'm working on more class trait guides. I don't think I actually mentioned this, but I meant to mention at the beginning of the stream the videos that I'm working on for the next week, because that's just something I usually like to talk about in these and let everybody know what's going on. So I am working on more class trait guides. I recently did just the yellow line Rune Keeper, but I'll have a couple on Hunter, and so this is kind of odd, but I didn't realize I did the red line champion build. I thought I did a yellow line champion one somewhat recently, so I was planning on doing another red line champion one, but my build is actually the exact same even with all the recent champion changes and buffs. The build actually turns out to be the exact same. And usually I just get some more updated information, or things scale a little bit differently after a few updates. So usually things do actually change a little bit, usually not majorly, but a little bit between updates. But that one really is the exact same. I could always just make a new version of the guide, even if the final build is the same for what I do with those starter builds. So that's like a complete tangent from what I was meaning to talk about. But kinda, I guess the point is with that, I am working on more guides in those trait builds. The ones coming up will be on Hunter, as I mentioned. And then I will probably touch back on Warden, as many trait guides as I do for Warden and guides for Warden in general. That's actually one that has been a while since I've updated, since I started focusing on the other classes and kind of my new wave of them from 2018 to 2019. Actually did not do one on Warden, I think, in that time frame, so I'll make new ones for Warden. That one I can do red, blue, and yellow line, all 3 of those, because I think all 3 are worth playing in their own situations. But as far as questing goes, I still need to find the missing sword. Oh, that's the Left 4 Dead one that's right outside Aldberg. But otherwise, as far as quests go, I'm actually ready for turn-ins, it looks like. And just to double check on that, that does look to be the case. And I got a new quest. I think it was for the Flooded Isengard or something like that. Not entirely sure. I'm actually not even sure if that's really a thing that we go to right now, but Fangorn? Oh, it's Fangorn, not, I don't know why I was thinking Flooded Isengard. I really actually don't know too much about Flooded Isengard. I'm honestly not even sure if I've been there. Maybe once I go there I'll recognize it, but it doesn't sound familiar, and I just remember seeing it was a thing at some point. So this one is outside Isengard, but I think it leads to Fangorn, because Entwood, maybe Entwood is what I was thinking and not Fangorn. That's connected to the Eves of Fangorn. But kind of with this general era in LotRO, East Rohan, West Rohan, and even parts of Gondor and Anorian, I just wasn't doing too much questing because I wasn't enjoying it as much. So I'm not as familiar with these regions. Like, they're probably the zones I least know in LotRO overall. So that's why I think it's actually interesting going back on the legendary servers there, even though I didn't enjoy them the first time around, at least what I did of them. Because I wasn't enjoying them, I didn't do too much of them. But I think re-exploring them on the legendary servers and trying to enjoy them and fully complete the them this time, it makes it interesting to go through them, almost as if some of the zones and areas probably will essentially be new to me, or at least feel new. But this is like totally unrelated again, but one of the other videos I'm working on is I am going to have another video tomorrow on the War of the Three Peaks Update 28. We don't really know. I don't think there's any new information in that as far as news goes. I think I'm ranked 2. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'll have a video on that tomorrow, more about the monetization of it and the price and being called a mini expansion instead of a quest pack, basically. But so I actually thought I recorded that video yesterday. So I thought I had it recorded since then, and it turns out I never actually did record it, like record the actual commentary part. I got some background gameplay for it, although it's not relevant. I've done some things in LotRO, like off stream. There's a little bit of an odd noise. It sounds like a screwdriver type thing. I don't know if one of my neighbors doing that. There was something like a stream. Oh yeah, it was the very long Louis Den stream last week. Felt like somebody was following me. I don't know if he actually was, but that is what it felt like. Oops. For some reason I thought you could frown in this game. I guess I'll just go straight to crying. I gotta laugh at him 6 times to see if he gets the juggling emote. There, just to be safe. But yeah, that was a bit odd because I actually saw it just before the stream. I didn't actually record the commentary for that video, even though I thought I did. I was like looking at my notes for it. I was like, I don't think I actually recorded this. So then I checked and I didn't. So that's something I still have to do. And that means tomorrow morning I'll edit it, but I actually like editing in the morning. For some reason, I don't think this is typical for people in general, but I get up, it's been inconsistent lately, but anytime from like 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Occasionally I'll be even up before 6 a.m. So I'm just generally up early, but one thing I like to do is go immediately to like do some work, whether it's on editing or even the schoolwork or work I need to do. Looks like we're ready to go with this. That's sometimes if I'm in the middle of talking and there's nothing actually going on in game, it's just the people in my Discord talking to me, which you all can't hear and wouldn't know, but sometimes that does distract me itself. But to me, that's part of the fun with streaming, is all the good old distractions. They keep things busy and moving. That's why some of the streams I do, I feel like they go like super slow if it's just like me going through quests and nothing to distract me and nothing to talk about. Those might be entertaining too. Oh, I should switch to heal spec, properly heal them. I think I'm gonna go down to the east and just heal barricades for a while. With these ones, it's a bit odd because I have heals over time, so I don't actually know the point where I should stop healing them, but at some point I can stop healing them and the heal over times will eventually trigger the barricade. So I thought I used Mending Verse, and then I thought the cooldown didn't trigger. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but I'm pretty sure I like just cast Mending Verse and then the cooldown never triggered. That was a bit odd. Yeah, just... I'm doing some of the barricades on the east here, working backwards. Doing the good building and healing. It's good that we have a instructor, a leader, to tell us all what to do in this epic battle, because I mean, this is something, it kind of makes sense building barricades, but it gives me something good to do to preoccupy myself while basically nothing's going on. Even though there actually are enemies attacking throughout this on the west side, but yeah, right now just building and healing, or building by healing. So got all those built, and I guess I'll go to the west side now. So Coinfell, you said the number of reasons you get beat on this epic battle is your engineer points are not high enough to use the siege weapons on top of take out enemy siege weapons. So I think that is true if you were talking about Deeping Wall. For some reason, I don't know if my chat got behind again. But we are in Helm's Dyke right now, which you could be talking about this as well, because Helm's Dyke, I know you need high rank engineer as well for, mainly for like the barricades and the side missions. I think the other one, Deeping Wall, taking out enemy siege weapons, is very important. That's one thing when I ran it duo just to unlock the next epic battle. If I can find that thing. Deeping Coombe, as far as I know, we did unlock it. We did finish Deeping Wall and completed it, but it was pretty tough with just two of us. I think maybe we did actually fail it, I don't remember. I did try it once, but I know the very first time I did it, it was not successful. Okay, so when our side missions, new quest things come up, this one's going to be pretty tough. So I'll go to the westmost. Heal some barricades along the way. Oops, I guess I didn't need to take arrows from them. I think they're going to the last one. I don't know if these arrows, we need to actually take them to the archers, or... Yeah, it looks like I just have the arrows. Yeah, getting more promotion points is definitely important with the epic battles. But I don't remember what I just said, but Coinfell, definitely getting more of the promotion points is going to be good with epic battles. That's one thing I have definitely noticed, because like, I'm still low rank, I'm only rank 2. I think you can start getting considered high rank at rank 3, because that's when you unlock a bunch of things, and I think that's true for everything, every expertise, I guess that's what they're called. So like engineer rank 3, you can do catapults and a whole bunch of fun things like that. You can also dismantle barricades, and then you can replace them, and yeah, getting high rank is definitely helpful, and more promotion points that'll make epic battles actually easier doing that, so you'll get higher rewards, you'll more often get platinum, and then that will give you even more promotion points. It's kind of It scales pretty well. As you get more promotion points, it makes it easier to earn promotion points. So I need to tell this one to fire. Use my new shiny lightning runestone. Okay, so yeah, I really just need to sit here and basically babysit the archer and then tell him to fire. Otherwise, the burglar here is killing the NPC, so I don't really have to worry about that as much, and just really heal the archer is kind of the main goal here. Heal him and tell him to fire. But he's not taking any damage, so don't really need to heal. I could actually, during that time while waiting for that, I do need to use it about as often as possible, but I could come down here and give a heal to a barricade, and I can keep that panel up, I guess, too. Look at the timer. I'm actually kind of curious if this will be enough health for the barricade. I don't think it will be, but just to get a good visualization of how much the Rune Keeper heal over time is, it's actually a lot. Very barely not enough. That was just something I was curious on, so good to see my heals. The heal over time component, especially like when Bombastic Inspiration, the immediate heal on that went off. That was pretty good, but yeah, just something I could do in the meantime. Got that barricade built. I'll head east and see. I think there were more barricades that needed to be built that I passed by. Just giving a quick heal over time to those will help that, and it looks like they're actually already built and they don't need any healing either. He says he's ready to fire again, but actually it takes a minute after that, even before you can press the button, and they'll actually be ready to fire again. It would make sense that you could jump over this, but you can't actually. There are a lot of things in LotRO like that. And then I was in Minas Morgul on Louisden, and there were things not quite like this, but it's Minas Morgul, so I was like jumping basically from one circle to a lower one, and I would die by misadventure. So I guess when they do allow you to jump on things like that, you will get killed by misadventure. Oh, we failed that. I don't think we usually fail that one, but sometimes have issue with it. I'm not really sure what the Dunlending do. They're not supposed to like obstruct things with stone. Sounds like you can get the Dunlending with catapults. It sounds like is like an option. I should probably build this while I'm casting my heals. It's really crazy I can even do this to begin with, but these engineers think they're good at building barricades until a healer comes by and just heals them up to full morale super quick. And that magically builds them. With building the barricades? Yeah, we got our, yeah. Do you want me to place this barricade anywhere? For the tower? So we're setting this up for the tower, so usually they run around here and, oops, put a barricade. I actually don't know if they run there, but you could do one right here as well. It's kind of hard to see with the camera angle there, but we'll block them with that one. Could also, I don't think, these last 3 minutes, I don't know if I'll actually have anything, but might as well get the cooldown use out of this and play some caltrops. And the cooldown on this is relatively short. It's like 1.5 minutes, a little bit shorter, I think, so I could even have 2 of those up at once. Get another do not fall this day, even though on this it shouldn't become too much of a thing. Very quickly built with my healing, so I think I have to load it and then I can even aim it. Actually looks like it's aimed pretty perfectly for where enemies would come. So I will go help set up the middle tower, I think. And this is something we're doing just in case we get the tower side mission. We might not necessarily even get that. It's just a possibility, so we can prepare for it. I think in general preparing for that even somewhat prepares for other ones. Do one around this rock. Okay, so it sounds like we'll do another one of those ballista things where I heal it up real quick to build it. Don't know where that is, but sounds like there was a fire somewhere. I didn't know if I needed to go heal it, but it sounds like it's taken care of. Oh yeah, I was like, usually I thought I had more options, but I'm not actually in my officer specialization here. I guess I technically could switch to officer, then switch back 1 minute later to engineer if I'm not doing any engineer things. Oh, I think he's armoring it up, not building it. Probably. I always expect the caltrops to go in front of me like a hunter trap, but they actually go centered around you, kind of like the skill flurry of words. So I should have probably placed it more over here, where the mobs would actually come around. This is a bit odd. Randomly a goblin raider and some dunlending here. I don't know if that's from the old. Oh, we did get guarding the watchtower, so that's fortunate because that's the one we just set up for. Yeah, I'm headed to the west there. Since we were all on the east, might as well head to the west. I'll get LotRO here, do not fall this day. And I think I'm actually going to be better off in the DPS back here. So yeah, my goal here is just to kill the enemies as much as I can before they, or while they're in the barricades, being slowed by the barricades. And we also have the little ballista up there that people are working on, so just killing the NPCs. I think you can actually step too far out and you'll start taking damage or even instantly die, so don't want to do that either. Oh, there's a sniper. They're the ones that try to sneak through and run through real fast. They just ignore everybody on the way. And they're the ones that placed actual bombs to damage the tower, so definitely need to prioritize them. It looks like some sort of explosion went off. I didn't actually see, maybe there was a detonation thing there. There's another. Oh, that's a scrapper, not a sapper. I was like, that doesn't look like a goblin to me. So we're halfway done, it looks like. 4 more waves, 4 done. This is one of the more exciting, I guess, side missions, just because I feel like as a Rune Keeper, I'm actually doing stuff dealing damage. And some of the other things, of course, I'm actually doing things healing, but even though I'm not that high rank of an engineer like these other people are setting up the ballistas and upgrading the barricades and all that sort of stuff, I actually feel like I'm useful as far as my actual class in the game. Just with the damage and even a little bit of the AoE crowd control here, it's pretty nice. Oh, I thought I was targeting a sapper, and then I tap targeted out of him. There's a saboteur. Maybe they're the saboteurs and not necessarily the sappers here. I think everything was dead by the time I used vivid imagery there as well, so did not need that. My runestone stun, and that'll slow them down for a bit. It also has a slow. Anything that slows is useful on these enemies as well. They get slowed by the barricades, but just stacking more and more slows is always helpful. I think even caltrops, that slows them a little bit as far as I know. Damages, stick to enemies' feet, oh, just continues, so damage over time it sounds like. Maybe bear trap would be better for the immediate damage rather than damage over time. Let's see, that's actually barricade spike, so that's unrelated to my caltrops. I don't know, maybe caltrops does slow, but it's a decent amount of damage over time it looks like. So we did get a platinum from that, which is nice. I don't think as a kin that we've gotten platinum from that before. So I'll switch back to heal spec for our setup period. I think there's a barricade I can pick up, and I can't dismantle them or do anything like that, but I can pick them up once they are dismantled. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to set up, but I'll go ahead and wait and see. But yeah, there will be one more side mission we do have to set up for. Otherwise, there's not too much left in this epic battle. I think we're headed to the statue. Is the statue on the east here? The one with the shields, right? Maybe. Or this is the one I think I've always been confused where I need to go like beforehand. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly where this hammer hand statue thing is. That's the closest thing, and for some reason I thought this was it at one point, but it might be something else. No, there's actually two of these, so that's probably not it. Where else could it be? There isn't really a statue here. And that shield thing isn't really a statue, but for some reason at one point I thought that was it. Don't see anything up here. This is as far east as the epic battle goes. I'm not sure if it's way down here. Yeah, there's another one of these here, so I'm guessing it's not those actual shield things. Looks like everybody's a little bit west of me. It actually is a statue of Hammerhand, so I guess I will find out where it is. Oh, here's Helm's monument. Oh, I have one. Okay, so this is just the side mission encounter thing that I am least familiar with, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I have no idea. Oops, I should probably... Oh, maybe I want to stay heal spec because they also can't destroy the weapon caches. So maybe staying in heal spec would be good for that, or even I could switch to DPS. I don't see... Are you talking about on the east? Oh. Oh, there's a siege troll. Oh, I just switched from healing spec, but I can still help. He went down quickly. Sure. So it sounds like I am on catapult duty here. So I do heavy shell and one crank, and that sounds like it'll be good to go. So that's fairly easy with this. Don't have to do a bunch of cranking and aiming and all that, so I just crank it, and then when the enemies get there I'll unload that, but I'll also damage them and try to keep them from going there. But it sounds like the trolls are the main things. I just like totally hit my mic if there's a random loud noise. I think usually whenever I do this I'm around the statue but still don't know what to do. It's just one ever since we've really learned how to do epic battles as a kinship or as a group. It's just not one we've actually gotten. I think we've done it once, and I don't know, I don't remember any part on the east here, so this particular part's new to me. That's kind of the main thing here. So looks like we'll have another troll, but can of course try to do damage to it as an elite master, so there'd be a ton of damage to have to try to do before using the catapult, but it's possible we can get it. We do have a hunter here as well. I don't know how well their damage skills in the epic battles, but there's a possibility. And we did get it actually. Now we have the little Dunlending. I'm actually going to fire it just because there are a couple enemies there. I'm not even sure it actually did much. Oops, don't need to crank it that much. Some caltrops here. Actually, that's one of the times I probably should have done a bear trap up there. So this is pretty much the same thing. If the troll gets up here or any of the other enemies, I'll go ahead and get the catapult ready. But it doesn't look like I will actually need to fire it. This one's pretty neat. I like the east side here that we're trying to prevent the enemies, of course, from getting to the tower. That's basically like the last one. We're actually really destroying the weapon caches is the thing. Caches. And we have one more wave with that, so definitely doing good here. Haven't even needed to use our big catapult, or actually small catapult, as it is called. There should be a captain somewhere here, except I cannot. There we go, commander. So when the enemies come back, I'll give them like a full damage buff. There's actually more barricades down there. I'm not sure if I ever knew that. Could have built those and moved them if we needed it. That's good. Hardly needed to use the catapult. Oh, and we just finished. We got platinum, just barely had to use the catapult, and didn't get much as far as jewelry goes, but again, that's okay because I'm level 90 and would rather save that for level 95. But as far as this epic battle goes, we're essentially done. We just go back to the middle and we basically let things play out, but can top things off with heals and even do a little bit of damage and just make sure everybody's healed up and that sort of thing. Oops, did not mean to do haste. But yeah, this is one of the parts. It looks like a lot of people are in the east here, so I'll probably head to the west, but I'm just making sure everything's healed up here. I always have trouble right around this rock. I know the bridge is here, but I always have trouble sometimes finding it because it is right behind the rocks there. Random barricade in the middle of this. Oh, it looks like somebody already got them all healed up and everything, so that's good. I do see they have a little bit of damage, but it's really an insignificant amount overall, and I'll quickly be able to heal it if they don't heal it themselves passively and through their thing, but with this little bubble, that'll get them all the way up. And one thing I always forget about in my actual gameplay on the Rune Keeper is I need to work on my class deed, so I have to use self-motivation a few more times and distracting flame a few more times. 34 on distracting flame and 25 on self-motivation, it looks like. Another heal. I really don't, yawning while talking, but I really don't need to do much here. It's just waiting for this to finish out. One of the things, as far as today's stream so far, it's been more enjoyable than my last time at West Rohan. I think if anybody was watching that, you probably remember I was a little bit more bored during that. We were doing the Helm Psych epic battle, and that was actually the part I was looking forward to that day, so that was just unfortunate a little bit as far as the overall enjoyment of that I wouldn't really say stream, but the content I was doing with that. But today's been more fun. The Deeping Wall epic battle raid again is pretty fun. And I know I usually do a wrap up like this at the end of the stream, but I am not going to be finishing the stream. Kind of what I was getting to is the questing hasn't been as bad with what I have done so far in Eastfold. I have only done basically one quest set, but this quest set in particular was more fun than basically my past like 3-4 hours of questing in West Rohan in general. And on top of that, there was like one quest that I enjoyed, but even the few hours before that, it's just been many hours of not as enjoyable quests for me, so that was nice to have one that's been more enjoyable. So I'll get to, as far as after this epic battle, turning that in and probably even doing 1 or 2 more quest sets, and I'm not sure if we will as a kin run anything else, but that is always possible. That we could even be running more stuff. And one thing I just thought of that I could use is the subscriber daily to get the town services, so I can do like my reforging and stuff and selling on the go. So I might do that as well before I head back. So as far as equipping this goes, I don't think this will be an upgrade. But yeah, I guess I'll head to Bree to go ahead and get that VIP daily done and get my subscriber town services. And then I'll head back to wherever I am, Eastfold, to do some questing there. Yeah, that's just one thing, I guess, with West Rohan questing in general, is it's been inconsistent, because the first part of it actually wasn't too bad. It made me perhaps even set my expectations too high, but made me hopeful that the rest of it would be fun and not quite like I remembered, because the intro, the first actual town, Edoras, I think that's what it was called. I don't think it was actually called Edoras. Edoras is the main one. That one wasn't as exciting with the quests in it, and even the tiny amount of quests around it. But that first little town, I'll look at the map when I get there, but don't remember the name of it right now. That one was more fun. I wonder, we still have Myrtle Mint, yeah, for our Figments of Splinter vendor. I usually don't mind pay any attention to that, just because I don't really do that stuff, the loot box currency, but I just happen to have a bunch of Figments of Splendor because you get 4 black steel keys for each character. I think mainly through like yearly gift boxes that you accumulate from playing LotRO over time, and as far as I know, after a few years you will get 4, and I do get 4 on each of my characters, so I open the 4 loot boxes, and that's how I get all the Figments of Splendor and most of Enchantment, at least on this server. Yeah, I was going to, well, first of all, this town is actually called Entwade, so that place was pretty fun. That particular town. And then what else do I need to do? I need to travel to Aldberg. This is where my quest turn-in should be. If I remember correctly, I did not actually get to turning the quest in, but I did get the sword quest done. But I actually don't really remember. So we are done as far as the group content and kin group goes, and just general kin event tonight, so I can take my headphones off, which I already took off, and don't need to worry about Discord or anything anymore. And one thing I just noticed is OBS is looking all weird. Okay, no, never mind, it does look normal, but it was looking all weird. I think it's just because I have the window so small on that. So turn-ins, that's what I'm doing. Eastfold, it looks like I did turn a couple things in, but not quite everything, because I thought I had 5 quests at one point. Which I guess makes sense. I kind of remember doing some stuff, but it's kind of crazy getting all that big battle stuff going on. Finishing the one and then turning in the other. I don't know what is in this town. It has a little blue thing. Currency exchange, so that sounds like skirmish camp. Skirmish Camp Orma. I don't know what Orma is, but also has jewelry and cloaks. Oh, that's part of Skirmish Camp as well, but also has Relic Master and Forge Master, so I'll see what's all in here. Sounds like mainly Skirmish Camp with also Orma, whoever they are. That's the only thing I'm curious on, who is Orma and why would that be like a specific thing. Here's currency exchange. Okay, that's Skirmish Camp. Legendary items person. Oh, that's Skirmish Camp legendary items. It's pretty neat that they put the Relic and Forge Master here. I didn't actually know it was like this. Skirmish Trainer. This is a very odd... There's a Mithril Trader. Oh yeah, I remember that at the Skirmish Camp, but this is a very odd Skirmish Camp. It's, as it says, a skirmish hall, and they actually have training dummies here. Of course, I'm not in the lightning spec, so pressed a skill and it did nothing. Or healed me, rather. I still don't know what this Orma person is. Maybe it is like a skirmish camp thing, but I'm pretty sure when I hovered over the symbol for what was in this hall here, this building here, it said somebody called Orma, and I just didn't know what that was, but I didn't see them when I went in. Just to double check on the list here, it is about 8 down, it looks like, or so. It's ORMA as best as I can tell. I just don't know what that is or who Orma is. Sounds like a person. But anyway, we are good to go back to questing. I also don't know reputation here. If I should be turning in tasks or not. I probably should be anyway, just because I have, there we go. I have like a decent chunk of gold. Here's the quartermasters. These were kind of people I was looking for. And this would actually answer my question a little bit about reputation. So it looks like you get general offhand weapons, crossbows, that sort of stuff. Probably also somewhat cosmetic weapons. It's a neat looking axe. One thing in LotRO that I guess is the flavor of the races more, but I kind of in general like axes as a weapon type, but there are a good chunk of axes I don't like in LotRO, and some of, like with the high elf at least, I don't really like the two-handed axe animations, at least with Captain. With some other classes they're okay. I think actually the Guardian has pretty good animations with the two-handed axes, and particularly there's a two-handed hammer, which is actually more unusual for me. Usually I would prefer an axe over a hammer, and I would actually rather a two-handed sword than a axe, but on my Guardian I have a particular two-handed hammer that I really like. But anyway, I don't know exactly how we got on that distraction. I guess with these weapons. Prized Earlinga Steed, that would be an option, but kind of the problem is I'd actually return to Alberg just to have a travel skill would be nice, so getting Kindred wouldn't be bad for that. As far as Helmingas go, which I'm pretty sure I have none of the reputation for. That looks like jewelry, but I'd get better stuff with. Okay, Helmingas is going to be the Helm's Deep one, it looks like, but also getting the travel for that. And it looks like some gear pieces, like this shoulder piece just looks kind of flat good, as far as I can tell. I guess I should compare the exact stats, but it looks like something that would be an upgrade type thing with level 95. Of course, it has a ton of vitality on it. In terms of that, it'd be a huge upgrade for my Rune Keeper here, and the tactical mastery and critical rating, so that would definitely be something to look out for if I remember it. Just to use my Westamnet iron coins, and also as far as the reputation goes, then I could also get regular return to Helm's Deep. One thing actually, this is kind of odd, but I'm actually not a fan of reputation having, like, even with the kindred status, return to skills, because I feel like that was more of a specialty of hunters and then wardens, both of those classes, to be able to travel all around Middle Earth. And then with reputation, they make it so you can barter for things and get return to skills. Even though I use them and they're convenient, I kind of feel like it takes a little bit of the specialty out of wardens and hunters actually being able to do that. So that was just something I wanted to point out with that. a bit odd because it is nice again to have that travel option, but it does, to me at least, take out the specialty from wardens and hunters. Guess I don't need any of these. It's kind of sad to just sell all this jewelry, but that's the way it is. Anyway, kind of the point of that whole reputation adventure was that I was going to check if I should do these barter things. Tattered skins? No, I just sold everything. Damaged ears? Probably don't have any of these. It looks like damaged furs. Oh, too far away. I was trying to look at what all I sold, but I did sell damaged furs, but I didn't even have 10 of those, so I'll just have to remember any task items to start saving those and trying to turn into task board. I haven't killed too many mobs. I've killed a lot of like animals, but the main thing I get from them is the tattered skins, which I cannot turn in for a task there. Oh, these are the barter people I was just at. I'm looking on the map and I need to head this way for my turn in. Kinda just gotta navigate a little bit around Eldberg here to find my way and get on the right path with going towards my turn-ins, and I think it's at the meat hall here. That's why I was requiring all that navigation, not just a flat area where I can jump through the buildings pretty quickly. It's actually not quite like Edoras. It's a lot of a smaller area, but not as much roundabout pathing as far as walking to get to the meat hall. It looks like I get a yellow piece of gear, which, yeah, I don't think will be an upgrade, so I'll just get one of the heavy armor ones because they sell for the most. And my quest is to scout some orc camps, so that sounds like a fun thing to me. And I think, I already mentioned that I would be doing like 1 or 2 more quest sets, but I'm thinking at this point I'll probably just do one more. I'll see where this orc camp quest leads, and then go from there, but probably after I do the scouting the orc camp and see where that leads, it'll probably be about time for me to wrap things up. And I probably shouldn't have been trying to jump through all that stuff to begin with, but yeah. Head to the southwest one. Oh, I also haven't done, I got my subscriber town services item, if I can find that. And all these virtue XP things, if anybody is wondering, I just saved them up from the Hobbit gifts and haven't used them because I like to try to wait for like a plus 10% or 20% virtue XP weekend to just go ahead and use all those and get basically more out of them, because I don't really feel the need for the immediate virtue XP from that, so I just save them. They do take a lot of inventory space because of that, but what I wanted to do was open the legendary item forge and just get some things rotating as far as this goes with upgrading these so I can deconstruct them. And even that runestone, I think, is not the one I have equipped. Yeah, this is the one I have equipped, so it's not the one I have equipped. Even reforge this. Actually, if there is a light bridle, I guess I would look for a level 95 light bridle, but I'd rather that than an 85. Or I'd rather a light bridle over a medium bridle though. Especially my medium bridle looks like it's level 75. Not that I do, ooh, I should probably also switch to lightning spec. But not that I do a lot of mounted combat. I tried to avoid it in general on this character because he is so weak. But one reason he might be so weak is because of that. Which is kind of odd because my Guardian's in the same situation of bad bridle. Like just in general, not too good bridle. I think also level 75. But my Guardian does way more damage than my Rune Keeper on the War Steed, which is crazy. The Rune Keeper is also, I guess, a little bit odd with that because at least with the red discipline, a lot of the damage is damage over time, which isn't too strong. But even the immediate damage, the yellow one, it's weaker than the Guardian, and probably, I would say comparable to my Warden. Sometimes my Warden's kind of inconsistent on the Warden, I guess. Even the range damage sometimes is good, sometimes it's horrible. The melee damage sometimes good, sometimes horrible. It's just super inconsistent feeling on that class. Oops, I was paying 0 attention to my health. Wow. I really was. I had no idea my health was going down or low. I was talking and zapping things and not looking at my health. That's why I was like totally surprised when I died, just because I did not care to look. But anyway, I'll try to actually pay attention to my morale in future fights. Oops. Accidentally had caps lock on there too. Is there a warband? No, I saw the warbands on my map, but those are the ones I already got. I didn't know if there was one on the way that I missed, maybe even in the area I'm in right here. I could actually track some of these things and be a gatherer. I am an explorer on this character, even though he focuses on Taylor. I can prospect and forest, but don't see anything with those. There is an orc camp up here that I need to scout. It looks like right now scouting is just scouting. Maybe I will get quests. It would make sense at least that I get quests for the orc camps later, but that is one thing I've liked with Minas Morgul again, is that when I have a reason to go around a camp like that, whether it's orc camp or something else sort of camp, I'll get more quests to do. Usually it was like 2 more quests to do inside the camp, and would just get more things to do. So like here, if I get quests to go back out to the camps, that's okay. But it was nice with the Minas Morgul content that as soon as I went to, say, scout the first orc camp, I would get a couple quests to do there. Then the same thing with the second and third, just gave a nice experience and quest flow with that. To me, at least, it was just something I really liked there. But we'll see where this leads. It was just something I was thinking about and I thought worth pointing out. Comparing West Rohan to Minas Morgul content, the Helm's Deep questing content, I guess, to the Minas Morgul expansion questing content, because I am going kind of through both of these at the same time. So now I need to talk to Eothane. Don't know where Eothane is. I'm guessing he is in Aldburg. And I'm hoping the decision to be made is that I should just go to the orc camps and deal with the situation myself, but we'll see what decision must be made. Now back to Arsenal. That's the one thing I've also noticed about West Rohan quests, is you keep talking to people just to go back and talk to other people. Just a lot of talking to people in the towns. I feel like that was less of a thing in Minas Morgul, but at the same time the book quest did have a lot of talking, but that was more story purposes, which is okay with book quests. Even though the book quests aren't always my favorite because of that, I think it's definitely okay in the book quest. But for me, they're a little bit annoying in towns like this to go talk to somebody and they tell you you're basically becoming an owl to talk to 2 people and carry the conversation between the 2. And that's just one type of thing I've noticed in West Rohan, and even throughout LotRO, through various parts, that there are quite a few quests like that, it seems like. Especially when you're working inside little camps or towns and doing the quests inside there, like preparing defenses or even things, just random things like that. But I guess the overall point is that I don't really quite like those quests as much. They're just not as interesting as a bunch of running back and forth and talking to people without really even doing anything, is what I feel like out of them. But the good news is I actually got one more quest. I got a quest to go back to this orc camp, and I got one more quest to defeat some orcs here. So that, I think having the quest to defeat orcs just makes it a more full experience here as far as the questing goes. But in general, the trend, at least with West Rohan right now in Eastfold, is that it is going up in terms of enjoyability for me. I am having more fun with the quests here. Right now, even though I need to defeat 2 more orcs. Oh, this one's an elite, that's neat. Oh, actually I have a quest to defeat the leader. I'm surprised they have a regular quest that has you defeat an elite. I wonder if it's called Small Fellowship or anything like that, because usually they would be, but it doesn't look like it actually is. That's just a bit unusual, I think, for this time, but that's okay. It makes it more interesting as far as I'm concerned. I could see some classes maybe having a tiny bit. Actually, I don't really know a class that would have particular difficulty with an elite. Sometimes if you don't have gear, or even at different level ranges, it can be tough, but it seems like all classes were updated to be pretty viable solo. Some specs might have issue. Like the yellow line burglar probably won't have much issue with it, but I'm just thinking that one is a random one, would be pretty slow. Blue line captain the same way, but they have a lot of survival stuff, it would just be slow. Red line captain, just to go on that one, another slow one in a way, but they probably have enough solo damage that the slowness isn't a problem. Just compared to the other 2 captain specs, they don't have as much solo survivability. Champion would probably do enough damage with the recent update to not have issue with something like that. Because in general, in LotRO, elites just aren't as tough as they used to be. For me, at least, it used to be a big challenge to try to solo an elite, like on my Rune Keeper. That was one of the things. In Moria, I soloed an elite, I was like, wow. I didn't think that would actually be possible, but nowadays it's like no problem. It's more, can I solo an elite master? That would be more tough, but even for a lot of classes, that's not the hardest thing ever. But then soloing nemesises and things like that, it gets a bit more odd, because a lot of those can't be kited or slowed, and that'll be a problem for some classes like the yellow line Rune Keeper or blue line hunter, or even yellow line hunter, where you can't use your traps. I don't think I will need those gloves, so again, get the heavy armor one, just sell it for a couple silver more. And then even classes that can maybe take the hits of a nemesis, they might not be able to outlast it, like a warden. It could be a little bit tough to do that. Even a Beorning, just any of those tanky classes that have a lot of self-healing. It would be tougher, just because nemesis, that is like the full, it's not quite arch nemesis, that's the full 12-man raid boss difficulty mob type. So I need to travel to Finnmarch, and I don't know why I'm heading southeast, because Finnmarch is to the northeast. And to travel to Finnmarch, what it actually means is patrol the way to Finnmarch. For some reason, the quest objective says travel to Finnmarch, when clearly that's not what I need to do. So it's a good thing I actually paid attention to that. I would have been at Finnmarch and probably a little bit annoyed, because I didn't actually need to go directly to Finnmarch. But yeah, just thinking of mob difficulty and all the different mob types, mob difficulty types. I feel like Nemesis is when it gets a little bit harder to solo. So just to give some perspective on that, I actually did Limelight Gorge on my Guardian recently on level, and at first I did have trouble with the Nemesis, like spiders, and I forget what else there was as far as the Nemesises go, but I did have trouble at first, but eventually was able to do it. It was just extremely slow. I had to use a lot of my self-healing. I had to kite the enemies, slow them, and just use a lot of my abilities and different things. In the Elite Masters, I could actually even do in DPS spec. It was tough on the DPS spec. I'd still have to use some of my survival skills, utility skills, and cooldowns, but it would go by a lot quicker. But even at the beginning, actually, I had trouble with the Elite Masters until I got used to it and trained up a little bit. In the DPS spec and tanking spec, it was more easy with them, but again, slow. Eventually I got a group together, that was at the level 85 cap on the legendary servers at the time. It was just about when I returned to LotRO, but before I could start working on videos again. Again, for anybody that's unfamiliar with my break with LotRO on both YouTube, I wasn't able to really do videos again. So I kind of got demotivated in general to play LotRO, even though LotRO as a game was still enjoyable. I just didn't ever have much motivation to actually log on and play, unfortunately. And eventually I did come back to LotRO before I was able to work on videos, and had a lot of fun playing through some things. And actually I'm going to have a whole video on this topic in the future. It might not be for a little bit though, just because I've had a few different review type videos. I don't want to have two of almost the same type ones back to back. But yeah, that's just like a random aside. As far as questing goes, it looks like I got some more things to do on the final patrol part, so that's neat. I have to find Guthloff. Guthloff sounds like an enemy, and just based on the name, it would be very unfortunate. Where do I throw the bucket of water? Onto the flames of the burning building. Alright then. Oh, that's already ready to advance. Oh, so the free the workers quest. For some reason I was thinking I needed to extinguish like 4 fires. It's just the one fire. Now I have to defeat some orcs and find Guthloff and free some lumberyard workers. But yeah, Guthloff, if that is an ally, he just has an unfortunate, very orc sounding name. Oh yeah, I should pay attention to my morale. I see it's going down a little bit and I have a debuff, so I'm not going to try to randomly die for not paying attention. According to the map, the Save the Lumberyard is to the north, so I should probably check here for Guthloff. Oh, unfortunately he is a Rohirrim type person. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they are, but that's what he made me think of. Actually does sound a little bit like a human name. I was thinking more of a Defiler type orc, not really like a regular warrior type orc. It sounded like a Defiler orc name to me. So that's just unfortunate. Unfortunate for him, at least, that to me he sounds like an orc name. But yeah, I think getting to Fenmarch in general will be a good point to wrap up as far as like the stream goes. I'll have a fresh start with Fenmarch. And just to note on Aldberg, it did start off boring, which is unfortunate the way it was for me. That was, again, with that stream, I was just bored throughout that, because I wasn't enjoying the West Rohan questing right there. But again, I tried to think more positively of going into this stream, and I think that helped a little bit, but also this questing content is more fun. I was just doing so much talking in the towns and just not really going anywhere. Like I said earlier, that it was a lot of running and talking to people and doing basically a whole bunch of nothing, and it wasn't really the most exciting. So now I need to defeat the I was about to say Luke or Tenant, like totally mixing up those two words, but I need to defeat the Orc Lieutenant. That's one thing, sometimes I record videos like commentaries for videos and I randomly combine like 2 words and it makes no sense. Sometimes I don't even realize that until quite a bit later. I'm like, wait, what did I even just say? And then I'll have to go back, and of course I patch it up in the final recording. Sometimes there are some very awkward cuts. I don't even know very awkward cuts, but not super smooth transitions between my talking points. Y'all could probably tell in the videos, but like I'll just be going on about a sentence and then randomly combine 2 words or make no sense, and of course have to cut that. But sometimes, especially after overtime, just commentaries in general go smoother. One thing that I used to do was go on tangents and just repeat myself a whole bunch, and I still do that to an extent, but I try to keep the general flow and pace going and not really repeat myself saying the same thing over and over again, which I probably do that in streams a lot. I feel like a little bit in streams I end up repeating myself, especially if I'm distracted. Like earlier we were doing epic battles, and I think talking about classes I probably repeated myself saying the same thing a few times just to remind myself on what I said, and again with the distraction of gameplay, it's just kind of what happens, I guess. Alright, so yeah, ready to travel to Finnmarch, and it looks like I actually need to travel to Finnmarch. I guess Finnmarch is a marsh. It says into the marsh, and I didn't even think about that with the map. The east part of Finnmarch actually being a marsh. It's kind of odd because the marsh environment is just something in general I don't like, but all the marsh quests that I've done in LotRO have been very fun. It's kind of odd that marsh tend to have fun quests in LotRO to me, but I actually don't like the environment. So one zone I can pick on that I have done recently that's marsh-like. There aren't too many marsh-like zones, but in Dunland, and I don't know why it's not telling me the names of these places. I thought it usually did, maybe it doesn't usually. There they all are. That was a super weird map. I guess this is the zoomed out one with Gap of Rohan and Dunland and going to the Dunland, but Dunbog I think is a fun place, and that's another marsh. Even though the environment again of a marsh isn't like the most exciting, appealing type environment to be in, they just historically have had fun quests in LotRO to me, so hopefully, I don't actually remember ever doing Finnmarch, just so everybody knows. We might be getting to a point where I actually did stop questing. I actually also don't remember going to Finnmarch. I do remember Aldberg and starting that questing, but it seems like we have gotten to the period when I basically gave up on West Rohan questing before. And I thought I did skip around and try some other areas, so we'll see if I recognize anything in the future, but yeah, I thought that was just something good to point out and something I just actually thought of. Kind of remembered. Those are nice dogs. Except this one looks bloodied up. I don't know if it's been hunting. The other one, I can't tell. Looks like it's been digging in the mud and it's kind of worn out from that. So for this quest, I need to collect arrowheads. For some reason, I thought I saw something flashing. Maybe it was these little fires. I was like, I don't think I need to collect arrowheads in here, but thought I'd double check. The arrowheads do look like they will be maybe in town, maybe slightly out of town. I said I would wrap up the stream, but I feel like the arrowheads, that's just like 5 things right next to town. I'll go ahead and do that and just see where it leads. Got one arrowhead. Seems like I'm about on the corner of the circle of where they can be. I don't even see any more sticking out of the ground. I just saw that one. Still not seeing any. I'm seeing the little toad frog. There is not an arrowhead, something else I targeted. Really, according to the map, where they should be. Like I would think, yeah, here's the one on the outskirts here. There might be one I actually missed on that island if they're going to be kind of on the very edge, slightly outside on the circle. But yeah, I guess in general with this area being a marsh and kind of boggy, and since I have like those quests in LotRO in the past, this is a really neat environment. I don't actually remember a swampy, marshy area with these willow trees as much in LotRO. I might be just misremembering some areas, but this is actually pretty neat and not the ugliest marsh actually, so this is one where the environment's actually not too bad to me. Oh, these are flower arrowheads instead of arrowheads rather. I think I did notice that earlier, but just wanted to point out that they're not from arrows as I was originally thinking they would be. Here's another one. Don't need to run into a tree. But since we are probably getting close to wrapping this stream up, just to talk about future content again, this week I am hoping, so on Monday tomorrow I'm going to upload a video about the monetization with Update 28 War of the Three Peaks, that mini expansion that's coming up, and we'll get more details on that later. That's going to be part of the video, but I did want to go ahead and do that, and I'll have that video tomorrow. I still have to record and edit it though, so I'll try to get it up at 12 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. server time, but I cannot guarantee that. That's when I've been trying to get like my regular video uploads. That's when I try to upload them, but usually I'm a little bit slow about getting around to doing those on time, and also notably I guess YouTube takes a lot longer to process videos than it used to, so sometimes it'll take like 2 or 3 hours just for YouTube to do its stuff. But yeah, I will have that tomorrow, and then I'm thinking, I'm not entirely sure actually, but I'm thinking about doing a Louisden stream tomorrow because I'd still like to stream every day. But I'll see exactly what is going on and what I get done basically in the morning and throughout that day to see what I will be doing. Because I would also like to do some homework tomorrow morning, ideally. Well, and then I have to actually start work at some point. But my schedule in general is just so flexible right now. Even if there are definitely sometimes I can't actually be consistently like working on YouTube, but it looks like I'm ready to head out for some quests. So I will go ahead and save that for later. Just wanted to do the arrowheads because it was around town and that was like the only quest I had to do. But yeah, it looks like I have a proper quest set to do now besides the water lilies and talking to this person. Looks like the water lilies will actually be basically right up there, but still outside the little camp. Also getting a quest for him, bag of chicken feed. All this stuff looks like it's in the town, so never mind. I'll go ahead and do these just to knock them out. But yeah, I wish I had a solid plan for streaming or not streaming tomorrow, but I just really don't know at this point what it will look like. So that was super easy, and have to talk to somebody else here. I'll go ahead and make my milestone here for when I do travel out, I can quickly travel back. And the outlook for this character is I will probably do a Wednesday stream. Usually we do have our kin events Wednesday evening, and we have had them Friday evening in the past. For some reason this week we switched it up for Sunday and Friday runs. Usually we do the low level group Sunday and the high level stuff Friday and Wednesday, but this particular week or weekend of events was just set up with those switched, so I'm not entirely sure, but probably will be back on this character Wednesday. Otherwise there are a few, or really just one new stream series I wanted to do on my champion. I also would like to get back to my lore master on this server as well, but that's just like so many things. There are even other things like with my guardian, I want to do a full Wildermore playthrough and just so many things like that. But I think I have one quest ring here on the map, and I actually don't think I have anything to do for that because it is to find the ring, Drydwall's ring. There's chicken feed here, so I'm not sure if this ring is right here, but I can check just because there is a quest ring here on the map and I'm not seeing anything getting targeted other than the mailbox. Yeah. And then I have a couple turn-ins maybe even over here, so that's kind of a lot. I've done a lot of clicking, got some water lilies, and just talked to a bunch of people. I was kind of, when I got the first quest to go out, and it looked like even the lilies quest was to go out, I thought I would actually be out for a full quest set, so we just keep finding more things to do, which is okay. As long as it doesn't drag on too long, like some of the previous areas that made me bored of the questing, but this is so far okay. It's progressing pretty fast, at least for stuff inside the camp. Okay, so I think I will try to find the missing locket and the... Actually, the missing locket is way down southeast. Have both of those quests, following a lead and missing locket, way down there. And there's Dreitwald's ring. So Dreitwald's ring is here, and then the boar totem, and probably the boars. I have another quest that I need to kill boars. It's probably down southeast as well. So it looks like I'm finally set up here more, and I know I was dragging on talking about the upcoming content, but that's just because there are more quests to wrap up here. But anyway, again, what's coming up is I'll have a video tomorrow and maybe a stream. If I don't stream Monday, I definitely will stream Tuesday. I'm just not sure. Depends on what videos I get edited and uploaded and all that for this week's schedule. Unfortunately, I just don't have a for sure answer because I wasn't able to get to all that today. But as far as this stream goes, I hope you all did enjoy it and had fun, again, going through the Deeping Wall Epic Battle Raid and some of the questing here, which has picked up in terms of enjoyability for me. So that does make me excited for the future as far as this character goes. And I'm just trying Eastfold. Here we go. That is my other quest, so just wanted to track that so I didn't forget it. But anyway, if you all did enjoy this, please consider liking and subscribing for more or becoming a channel member. And thanks for watching and joining the stream and all the chat.